Hey, I'm John, this is Guy from SurfFX, and these are what we think are the best dings on the market.
Hands down.
So if you want a wing foil, this is the range of the top of the top. So we'll have a little look through and see what some differences between these ones are. First up, the Schmidt wing. So this is the go-to wave riding wing. It's won awards for it.
Super light, super stable, very controlled, stays very flat when you're on a wave. Handles are very rigid, so extremely, controllable at speed. And if you're on a wave, you can really grip that handle when you're sheeting on. You can actually control the wing very comfortably, similar to a boom wing.
Very tight canopy profile with this. You can see it here, and that's without having any reinforcing in the top. So it keeps the weight down and just does really float well when you are wave riding, just holding the front handle.
Super light, yeah, super controllable.
Easy.
Quite an improvement, yes.
The Wave Lord.
Okay. He knows his stuff.
The Geotone Echo, 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 Echo. This is the boom. Everyone knows it as the one at the boom. It's kind of the second generation from the Geotone's boom effort, and noticeably more trimmable. And it does have a little batten in the front here with this kind of bridle line to it. It allows you to flatten out the wing a little bit more, or to bag it out so you can adjust where the draft is and how much kind of power it's got. Pretty cool feature.
Yeah, it's got a good strong top end. It goes upwind slightly nicer than nearly every wing on the market, I think. I think it's a very performance orientated wing for guys that want to go quick and really power up the wing and go upwind higher, points a lot higher than some other wings.
And of course the feel with the boom is that there's no real dedicated place to put your hands. You can put your hands all over it. So it's pretty easy to slide around and change your grip.
Yeah, it helps for learning too. Guys can really know where they're going to grab it because it's not a handle you've got to find, it's just there. So amazing wing.
The boom wing. Okay. Counter to that, Geotone's handle effort. This is the unit. This is the wing I use myself. It is a very large diameter tube in the middle, and a larger diameter tube is a lot stiffer with lower pressure. Indeed.
Keeps the wing up off the water, amazing surf wing, also really controllable, ready to go when you want to lift it up. So these are keeping the wing off the water, as we've said in other videos, and it just makes it very convenient when you're getting pounded by waves.
Yep.
You want it to be able to come up quick and be there.
Holds itself up.
And power. It's got similar power to the Echo. It's seriously amazing for grunt, low end.
I use this in a fairly large 6 meter. I like a very grunty, powerful one. You can almost like catch yourself on it. It's got some good power to it. Canopy wise, it does have a very tight profile with the big windows, something that some of the other kite wings do have, some don't have windows. For me, yeah, it helps. You can see through them a little bit, but I still have been more often than not where I have to move the wing to get it to look through it because it's not lining up kind of with my usual line of vision.
Or you lift it up and look under, don't you?
Peek underneath.
Yeah.
So,
but this geometry there basically like optimize the geometry to make the stiffest leading edge you can get.
Yeah, so just this whole setup is just massively rigid with being that larger diameter. Okay, and
this is an exciting one. This is really exciting. Because it's new, we haven't really had much to do with it yet though.
Okay, the Cabrina. It is a large handle, but a double tube down this double strut. So what the double strut does, they are separate from the leading edge. It is on a separate air system. Runs at a higher PSI. You need the higher PSI to keep it more rigid. And the one that goes along the canopy actually gives a fairly rigid shape to the whole wing because it's just formed along the edge of this top strut. The bottom strut, shape-wise, is just to locate the handles in a much nicer spot to handle, to grab hold. Ergonomics basically is why this second strut is here, but this top one really keeps that profile, no matter what. Like, it'll just it can be barely, just lightly on the water. As long as the wind remotely gets underneath it, it already has the shape, so it just lifts right up. Nice and easy when you're starting. And these handles, quite rigid.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, you're only ever like powering up, you're down the bottom. Most of the time I was sort of slightly off the middle, but a lot of times you're middle, and when you're really powered up, they move with the wing. But love what you said before, when you lift this wing up off the water from the flat, it's amazing how light it is. It actually comes up, so any wind coming under, I found it just wanted to fly. So I feel like they've made it so it wants to naturally lift on its own. It's good.
So what do you get with the Cabrina? You basically get a boom feel of being able to move your hands a lot without having a boom. Pretty cool. So yeah, so we feel this is by far the best range of stuff. You really have something for everyone. If you're coming into it from windsurfing, stuff like that, that boom feel really second nature between the Duotone and the Cabrina. Wave riding.
Yeah, your handled wings, they're looking like,
these, the much lighter setup in the hand, grunt and stiffness. We've got wings for that, so it's cool. The sport is really growing leaps and bounds, and the diversification of wings and equipment.
Come a long way in only 1 year. It's amazing.
Yeah. You look at some wings and you look at old footage and stuff, you're like, it's just like you're riding a shopping bag. And yeah, it just doesn't look like it's moving right. But now they just have a profile and a canopy in proper shape. Beginners. Constantly ask for beginners what to get, what's this, what's that. Well, we were beginners. I'm still a beginner. You were never a beginner. Okay. As a beginner using this gear, I found that the handles tell you where to put your hands, which makes it quite convenient. But at the same time, you have to find the handles. So after a day, it becomes a bit more intuitive. Otherwise, you swim the whole time. With the boom setup and some of the ones that have more handles can be a bit like the booms. You can obviously move your hands more. If you have a lot of handles, sometimes you're in the wrong one. And it makes a massive difference. Like with Schmidt, if you change your front hand from here to here, it is, and further back, it's got way more power. Something that you got to just experience and just to figure out for yourself. But other ones with handles like the unit, there's only one front handle, so it's just that's the front handle, and then I just go between the two on the back, and one's more and one's less powerful than the other. And you can kind of feel that. But the boom kind of gives you almost infinite, but you don't have to reach for it, but you might be in the wrong spot. So just something to think about as a beginner. You don't remember learning, but learning's fun, but it's not that fun.
I was a beginner for sure. I struggled.
That size. Yeah, size-wise, big guys already know that you're penalized for having too much weight. So you got to go a little bit bigger wing.
You're 95?
95 kilos, so that's about 10 pounds. I use a 6 meter. 5 meter felt like I just needed more wind, and it didn't kind of catch me, whereas the 6 meter can kind of catch myself and pull myself back up, even if it's a little bit lighter. That's something worth talking about. And we're talking winds 15, 18 knots. So, white caps, not blowing like crazy where your board's blowing down the beach. But that's the kind of wind that I'm in that. That said, a guy who's 80 kilos, 170, 180 pounds would probably be the same feeling on a 5. But a lot of those guys are trying 6s and going, wow, this is just having more power. So, just a little bit talk about the size thing. I mean, you and
I use the 5 only now, and I'm 75 kilo, and hardly use my 4 anymore. I don't think many people need a 4 unless you live in Maui, or if you're racing upwind and it's really windy. So, but I rode Michael 6 the other day, and I loved it. It was a great experience being powered all the time, and we're only flying 8 to 12 knots, so that made a big difference. So, but over 15, I don't think much need for under a 5.
Yeah,
and then over 15 or over 18, your 6s become a bit too grunty. So
Yeah. For your weight, where I can just
Hang on.
sit my ass down and hold on to it. This is the secret wing. This is the future. Down the bottom, it attaches to your board.
Holy crap.
Super light.
What will they think of next?
Yeah, you wait and see what happens. Once you attach it to the board, then it gets efficient.
Yeah. That's about it.
There's a lot here.